Hello and welcome everyone. This is Type V3 with a look at the ORIxGathering 1/6 Thalia, a fully painted fixed posed resin release from E2046.com's exclusive ORI Project figure line. Thalia comes in a fairly basic black box adorned with promotional images and company logos. It's not the prettiest packaging I've come across, and I could go on about how much I dislike it, but honestly, who cares? It's the contents inside that matter most. There's a total of 5 items that make up the 1/6 Thalia. There's a display base, the body of the figure, the head sculpt along with a separate attachment for the hair, and a small label that simply states The Gathering. Assembly was easy as there's really only one way for each of the pieces to connect together. Nevertheless, you should exercise caution as the resin construction can be brittle. All put together and you have one gorgeous looking figure. Thalia herself stands at about 10.5 inches, and including the display base, the entire piece comes in at just under a foot tall. Construction feels solid and there's a nice weight to everything. Her footholds could be a bit more secure, though I doubt this figure will see much movement, so the issue is irrelevant. On to the general aesthetics of the piece, and we'll start with the pose. It's very natural and unassuming. Thalia doesn't possess any real complexity in her display. That said, she does carry quite an energetic posture. I love the deep arch of her back and the slight sass in her hips. Her arms hover over her outfit with a powerful calmness to them, and both the hair and jacket have a controlled liveliness. While the simple pose won't ignite your senses, I think it was a smart choice as the paintwork of the figure offers the true visual treat. There's so much to like about the finer details on Thalia. The coattails are painted with a glossy red-to-yellow gradient that follows the lines and curvature of the sculpt. The undersuit is a dark metallic mix of bronze and burgundy, which is then highlighted by sharp red lines and a sparkly jeweled sequence on the thighs. The upper body goes for a duller, rock-like finish, using copper to emphasize the edges, as well as breaking up the black lining to replicate weathering. The chest deviates from the costume stylings entirely and uses a soft matte finish with light shading to bring out the sculpting. It's a very nice contrast to the rest of the figure. Even from the backside, Thalia still makes for an exceptional display piece, offering an equal amount of visual appeal from every angle. Obviously, an aspect not to be forgotten is the display base itself. It simulates the appearance of molten rock greatly and keeps in theme with Thalia herself. As for the display label, it's ignorable. I'd rather it say Thalia instead of Gathering. Also, it should have an even chrome finish, though my sample seems to have suffered in terms of production. When it comes to the head sculpt, it's arguably the plainest thing about the figure. I don't mind it still, I think the hair could have benefited from added shading. Though that's not my biggest problem. The actual face sculpt are where things get confusing. I just can't tell what expression she's trying to give off. The focused eyes suggest something of importance, yet her half-smiling, open mouth take all that seriousness away, and the final facial expression appears so detached. It's odd. There's 2 more issues I have with Thalia. Throughout her body are a couple seam lines that have minor visibility, but the most distracting one runs down her backside. There's nothing else to comment on, it's just there, and it looks horrendous. The other issue I have is the sculpting of the hands. They resemble wet noodles rather than actual human fingers. Not the biggest issues, though not forgettable either. E2406.com's ORI Project was devised as a means to bring creative character ideas into a tangible figure form, and with the 1/6 Thalia hailing from their Infinity series, which represents infinite imagination, I'd say it's safe to assume that they attained that goal. It is, without a doubt, a beautiful piece. The simple pose contrasts well against the bold paintwork. In fact, the whole piece is so striking that I found no matter where I displayed it, be it a busy background or soft, solid color, the figure always managed to stand out. It exudes uniqueness and even feels somewhat special. Now, I won't deny that this isn't a perfect release. There's some minor quality control issues here and there, and I'm seriously confused with that facial expression. It definitely needs work. Still, I don't think it's enough to bring down the evaluation of the figure hugely. But does that mean it's worth the high cost? Well, that's a tough call. More than anything, you have to be interested in the core character design and art style. As great as the craftsmanship is, it's ultimately the secondary factor here. Add to that, this is technically a limited run garage kit, which alone accounts for a good portion of the cost, so price comparisons with anime figure market leaders like Good Smile or Alter wouldn't be absolutely accurate. I'll admit, the ORIxGathering 1/6 Thalia is an impressive figure, there's no denying that, and if you happen to fall in its niche appeal, I'm sure you'll be delighted. As for those of us less keen, this will just be relegated to another nice figure viewed from afar. But that's all for me. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like more fixed posed figure reviews, let me know in the comments section below.